What's up, guys? Justin Morgan here, carved up vegan muscle, and you are watching my training from yesterday, Monday, and this is the realization week in the Juggernaut Fitness Method, or Juggernaut Method 2.0, and I just did one warm-up, or my last warm-up set there. That was at 285 pounds, and what you do is you do 75% of your 1 rep max for as many reps as possible. Now in the book, Chad Wesley Smith recommends that you only use 90% of your 1 rep max when getting your numbers starting out, and then that gives you more room to increase your numbers as you go on. Rather than take that advice, I kind of ignored it and just used my actual 1 rep maxes, so this is pretty tough. But if you use the general calculations that are used to get rep maxes, and you take 305 and for 10, that is the equivalent of my 1 rep max 3 weeks ago when I set it in the squat at 405 pounds. So there's that. So, but you can see as I get towards the end here, some of my form starts to break down. I start to lean forward a little bit too much, which isn't really a good thing. It's ideally when you start to reach some of the maximum, amount of weight that you're able to push, either for 1 rep or for 10 reps or whatever it may be, you'll find your strongest position. And if you don't, then it means that you have some uncharacteristic flaws in your technique, which is most likely the case here. I have some areas that I could stand to improve on. I could get a little bit more tighter before going down for each rep. I could do several things, and there may be even aspects that I don't even see that are in there, but there's something that I could do to change my technique for that. And here is, you're watching now the bench press, same idea, squat, bench press, rows. Now, in terms of exercise selection, this is not how the juggernaut method is set up. I'm taking more of the typical approach that I have in the past with like Bill Starr's 5x5 or any of the 5x5 full body type methods, and applying that. And here is 225 for 10 reps. Now generally when you guys have seen me bench press over the last year or more, when I bench press I usually do pause benching, but I found that as I go up into some of these really higher reps like 8s and 10s that's really tedious. So I've taken more to doing touch and go benching until I get back down into 5s. I don't know if I recommend that. I don't know if it's a good thing. But what I do is I'll do 9 touch and go bench press reps, and then I'll make my last one a pause. So I'll leave it sit on my chest for a few seconds before I go back up. And I think there's probably some merit to that. But this is kind of one area, I guess, if I had gone 90% of my 1 rep maxes to get these numbers, then it probably would have been best to go ahead and pause every rep. But since I did use the entire amount, then it's probably better to go with the way I did with the touch and goes. But here is the last kind of big lift, I guess. I'm doing rows. Every time I do a pressing exercise, I try to do a pulling exercise to equal it out. So that was my last warm-up set. Same weight, same everything that I did on bench presses. It is a little more tedious because whereas I did the touch and go bench pressing, which was what usually you see people doing in gyms and anywhere you see people bench pressing, I think of it as kind of cheating though. So I kind of cheated my way through 9 of the reps and then did 1 pause bench. There's no way to cheat rows in this instance, so I'm starting to get pretty worn out by the end. Plus, I've already done all the other stuff. Now, one thing that is different with my training now is I've added in some some specific arm work into what I've been doing. And the reason that I've been doing that is because I follow pro strongman Cale Beck, and he's talked a little bit about how there's a lot of like bicep, in particular, tears and things that you sometimes see in strongman. So I guess as a way to prehab that and to make sure that my biceps are strong, not just from rowing and pull-ups, which do add a lot to strength, but I added just a little bit more, just a few sets at the end, nothing major, in terms of bicep work, just to make sure that I'm getting everything I need. So that's it. You guys take it easy, and I'll talk to you next time.